You think Buick is just a grandma car? Think again. In the 60s, 70s, and even 80s, Buick was flexing serious muscle on the streets and the drag strips. From high-performance powerhouses to underrated gems, Buick's muscle cars were the definition of style and speed. Get ready as we uncover the hidden legends that prove Buick could hold its own in the golden age of American muscle. 1966 Buick Wildcat GS. With a name like Wildcat, you knew this beast wasn't going to purr. It was going to roar. Packing a V8 that could make muscle cars break out in a cold sweat, the Wildcat GS was the gentleman boxer of the automotive world. Limited to a single production year, and with very few being produced in that time, the Wildcat GS was a rare muscle car that could throw down with the best of them on the strip, then cruise to the opera without breaking a sweat. The vehicle was elaborately designed with a long front hood, a short rear, and a curved grille. It still stands out as one of the most interesting cars that Buick's ever designed. The Wildcat GS came standard with a 425 cubic inch 7.0-liter V8 engine producing 340 horsepower. Buyers seeking additional performance could opt for the Super Wildcat version, which featured dual carburetors boosting output to 360 horsepower. This setup enabled the Wildcat GS to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in approximately 6.5 seconds and achieve a top speed of around 125 miles per hour. The Wildcat GS also met some high standards with its smooth suspension, dual exhaust, and surprising maneuverability for a car that size. Only 1,244 units of this special edition Wildcat were ever built. Of these, 242 were convertibles, with the remaining units being hardtop coupes. Notably, only 22 units were equipped with a Super Wildcat dual carburetor engine, making them particularly rare. 1970 Buick GSX. The 1960s and 70s marked the golden era of muscle cars, a time when manufacturers pushed the limits of engine size and power before regulations tightened. While Chevrolet and Ford battled for dominance, Buick entered the scene with force. The Buick GSX was Buick's ultimate muscle car, based on the Skylark GS Grand Sport but taken to the next level. This vehicle was introduced in 1965 as a performance variant of the Skylark, designed to rival the Pontiac GTO. The first model featured a 401 cubic inch nailhead V8 engine, producing 325 horsepower, earning it the nickname Gentleman's Hot Rod. By 1970, the Grand Sport GSX elevated performance with a 455 cubic inch V8 delivering 350 horsepower and an impressive 510 foot-pounds of torque. This was paired with a ram air hood, a stiffer suspension, a 3.64 rear axle, front and rear spoilers, and bold graphics in either Apollo white or Saturn yellow. Of the 678 GSX units produced that year, only 178 were painted white, with the rest in yellow. The GSX's 455 engine had the highest torque rating of any muscle car, making it one of Buick's fastest models on the drag strip and the street. Even Motor Trend praised it as the quickest American production car we had ever tested. It was a direct competitor to other performance legends like the Pontiac GTO Judge, Oldsmobile 442 W30, and Hemi Cuda. The GSX Stage 1 showcased engineering prowess, boasting a powerhouse engine capable of outperforming renowned rivals like the Ford Mustang Boss 429. It delivered raw, tire-smoking power, with a level of sophistication that made other muscle cars seem rough and unrefined by comparison. 1967 Buick Grand Sport 400. Before the GSX, the 1967 Grand Sport 400 first introduced Buick's muscle car prowess to the world. Powered by a 400 cubic inch V8, it produced 340 horsepower and 440 foot-pounds of torque, delivering strong performance without sacrificing comfort. Its aggressive styling featured unique grille designs, hood scoops, and GS badging. The GS 400 also boasts power steering, power brakes, a console-mounted tachometer, power windows, and a power-operated convertible top. As a rare find in today's market, the GS 400 is both highly collectible and competitively priced because it blended muscle car performance with the refined ride Buick was known for, making it a hit among drivers who wanted luxury and power. The base price of the 1967 Buick Grand Sport 400 was approximately $3,080, depending on the body style and additional options. During its production year, Buick manufactured approximately 10,659 units of the Grand Sport 400. This figure included all body styles, with the hardtop coupe being the most popular variant, followed by the convertible. 1968 Buick Wildcat GS. think of Buick, you might picture refined cruisers built for comfort and elegance. But in 1968, Buick showed its wild side with the Wildcat GS, a car that blended full-size luxury with raw muscle car performance. This wasn't just a big car with a big engine. It was a statement of style and power that commanded respect on the street. Under the hood, the 1968 Wildcat GS packed a 430 cubic inch V8 engine, delivering an impressive 360 horsepower and a thundering 475 foot-pounds of torque. This torque-heavy powerhouse gave the Wildcat GS the ability to launch with authority, making it one of the quickest full-size cars of its time. Buick's legendary nailhead design might have retired by this point, but the Wildcat's engine carried the torch for smooth yet savage performance. Inside, the Wildcat GS delivered the kind of comfort you'd expect from a Buick. Plush bucket seats, wood grain trim, and a spacious cabin created an environment that was as luxurious as it was sporty. This wasn't just a muscle car, it was a premium performance machine that offered the best of both worlds. 1970 Buick Riviera GS. The Riviera GS Grand Sport took Buick's personal luxury car and added muscle. Its 455 cubic inch V8 delivered up to 370 horsepower and 510 foot-pounds of torque. While heavier than other muscle cars, the Riviera GS was no slouch on the road, offering excellent straight-line speed and a smooth ride. The 1970 version of the Buick Riviera got a restyling influenced by Bill Mitchell's 1968 Silver Arrow II concept car. The design featured nearly flush-mounted exposed quad headlamps and a wraparound front bumper integrated with a vertical bar grille. Standard styling included pronounced side trim and skirted rear wheels, with the option for exposed rear wheels. At the rear, the bumper and taillights were redesigned for a sleeker look. Under the hood, the Riviera was equipped with Buick's largest engine to date, a 455 cubic inch 7.5-liter V8 producing 370 gross horsepower, 245 net, and over 500 foot-pounds of torque. Nobody expected this Buick blow-up with the Riviera. Flaunting lines sharper than a Savile Row suit and a silhouette that made Ferrari jealous, the Riviera redefined American luxury. If the car was the icing on a cake, its 6.6-liter V8 was the cherry on top. Sales for 1970 reached 37,366 units, contributing to the second-generation Riviera's overall success, with 227,669 units sold across its 5-year production run. The Riviera didn't just turn heads, it gave people whiplash. Buick stood proudly, competing with the best in the luxury market. It set the bar so high that others were left scrambling to catch up. 1964 Buick Wildcat 425. At the heart of the Wildcat 425 was Buick's legendary 425 cubic inch nailhead V8. This powerhouse wasn't just about numbers, it was about feeling. With up to 360 horsepower and an earth-shaking 465 foot-pounds of torque in its Super Wildcat dual carburetor setup, the Wildcat wasn't just moving, it was roaring. This torque-heavy engine earned its nickname for delivering relentless performance and responsiveness. The Wildcat 425 didn't let its size slow it down. This full-size luxury beast could launch from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just about 7 seconds and conquer the quarter mile in 15 seconds flat. For a car this big, those numbers were jaw-dropping and put it on par with some of the most respected muscle cars of the era. Drivers had a choice: a smooth super turbine 400 automatic transmission that glided through gears effortlessly, or an optional manual transmission for those who wanted a little more control over all that power. Either way, the Wildcat delivered a driving experience that felt powerful and refined. 1965 Buick Skylark Grand Sport. If you check the previous Buicks we've discussed, you'll see that the 1965 Skylark is older than any of them. This car was Buick's first foray into the muscle car world. It was powered by the legendary 401 cubic inch nailhead V8, nicknamed the Wildcat 445 for its 445 foot-pounds of torque. It produced 325 horsepower. With upgraded suspension and performance-focused styling, the Skylark GS offered serious performance. Buick further refined the Skylark's design in 1965, giving it upscale exterior and interior trims that distinguished it from the more basic Buick Special. This elevated styling helped set the Skylark apart in Buick's lineup. Things got even more exciting because the car was a response to Pontiac's success with the 1964 Tempest, Le Mans, and GTO. Offered as a coupe, hardtop, and convertible, the Grand Sport's standout feature was its 401 cubic inch V8 engine, though officially marketed as a 400 cubic inch engine to comply with General Motors' rule limiting mid-size cars to 400 cubic inches. The engine delivered a robust 325 horsepower, thanks to its Carter 4-barrel carburetor. It no doubt laid the foundation for Buick's muscle car legacy, offering power, style, and luxury in a single package. 1973 Buick Century GS 455. By the early 1970s, the muscle car era was facing challenges. Rising insurance costs, stricter emissions regulations, and the oil crisis were taming once untouchable beasts. But Buick wasn't ready to give up just yet. Enter the 1973 Buick Century GS 455, a car that proved muscle and style could still coexist in changing times. Under the hood of the GS 455 was Buick's biggest and baddest engine, the 455 cubic inch V8. While emissions regulations forced a more conservative tune, it still packed a punch with 270 horsepower and a monstrous 390 foot-pounds of torque. This engine gave the Century GS serious street credibility, delivering strong acceleration and effortless highway cruising. With a heavy-duty suspension and Buick's commitment to luxury, the car handled better than many expected for its size. It delivered a ride that balanced muscle car aggression with refined comfort, making it a versatile machine for both daily drives and weekend thrills. As the muscle car era waned, the 1973 Buick Century GS 455 became one of the final flag bearers for Buick's performance legacy. While it didn't match the raw power of earlier models like the GSX, it carried the torch with pride, blending muscle car spirit with the sophistication Buick was known for. 1987 Buick GNX. If you're looking for elegance and refinement, the 1987 Buick GNX isn't the car for you. In a world of polished designs and subtle performance, GNX was a brute, an unapologetic force that tore through the competition with raw power and aggression. It was the muscle car of the 80s that dared to challenge even the exotic supercars of its time. At the core of the GNX was a turbocharged 3.8-liter V6, producing an official rating of 276 horsepower and 360 foot-pounds of torque. But the true numbers? Many believe they were even higher. This wasn't just any turbocharged engine. It was fine-tuned by McLaren Performance Technologies, transforming the GNX into a track-ready monster. This blacked-out menace could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.6 seconds, a number that rivaled Ferrari and Porsche at the time. The quarter mile? A blistering 13.5 seconds straight from the factory. It wasn't just fast, it was terrifyingly fast for a car that looked like a menacing stealth tank. The GNX was more than just numbers. Its design was pure aggression, dressed in all black with bold flares, unique badging, and sinister wheels. It was a car that made a statement without saying a word. No chrome, no frills, just pure attitude. Buick didn't go at it alone with the GNX. They partnered with McLaren Performance Technologies, who took the already potent Grand National and elevated it to supercar killer status. Enhanced suspension, upgraded turbo systems, and a reworked drivetrain turned the GNX into the ultimate performance car of the era. The 1987 Buick GNX wasn't about subtlety, it was a statement. A car that laughed in the face of its competitors, blending old-school muscle car roots with modern turbocharged power. If you're looking for a car that defined its era and still commands respect today, look no further than the GNX, a barbarian in a world of refined athletes. 1975 Buick Skyhawk. When Buick rolled out the subcompact Skyhawk in 1975, it was like the brand had ditched its usual playbook and decided to shake things up. The oil crisis of the 1970s made the timing perfect for this sporty upstart. With sleek, swooping lines and an unexpectedly youthful vibe, the Skyhawk wasn't just a car. It was Buick proving it could play in the compact league without losing its signature flair. Built on GM's H-body platform and sharing its DNA with the Chevrolet Monza, the Skyhawk was Buick's refined take on the sporty coupe formula. Designed to stand out, it offered a touch of luxury that its GM siblings lacked. Under the hood, it packed Buick's reliable 3.8-liter Fireball V6, delivering 110 horsepower through a choice of a 4-speed manual or 3-speed automatic transmission. Lightweight and rear-wheel drive, the Skyhawk offered just enough punch and agility to put a grin on the driver's face, making it a hit with younger buyers looking for a stylish yet practical ride. The Skyhawk wasn't just a car. It was Buick's bold statement that compact could still be classy, and it left a lasting impression. Despite being small, the Skyhawk was big on performance, offering a surprisingly spirited driving experience that challenged perceptions of what a small Buick was capable of. Its introduction played a crucial role in diversifying Buick's image during a time when fuel efficiency was becoming increasingly important to American consumers. Buick's rich history in American automotive design means many iconic cars didn't make it onto this list. These were hand-picked, and let us know which ones we missed.